What's going on, YouTube? It's Donnie PLT. So, as you can see, today's going to be a kitchen day. It's a kitchen day. And today I'm making some kick-ass burritos. I always post pictures on like Facebook and Instagram of like some of my burritos that I make. And people have been asking, dude, can you do a video on your burritos? They look amazing. So today I'm going to do a different kind of burrito that I usually do. They're going to be a little smaller, but they are going to be, this is cod and salmon, both wild caught. I just chopped them up, put them in a pan. I'm getting ready to cook them. This is Spanish rice. It's already mostly cooked. I undercook it a little bit because I'm going to cook it with some other stuff. So this is what you're going to need. You're going to need a tortilla, right? So right now I have some missions. I have some small ones. Normally I use the big ones, but this is what they had at Costco. So that's what I got. So you're going to need some tortillas. You're going to need your proteins, either fish, chicken, burger, however you want to do it. I like to use shaved steak. I use prime ribeye. And I'll take prime ribeye and do fine slices and cook it that way. Sometimes I'll do chicken. It doesn't matter, but today is going to be fish. So fish, rice, tortillas. You're going to need some kind of taco seasoning. This stuff is really good. They sell it probably at Costco. I think that's where I got that. You're going to need some kind of cheese blend. A Mexican cheese blend cuts all the corners, makes it easy. You're going to need some kind of avocado salsa, or you just guacamole, depending on how you want to go. It's like a twofer for me. It's salsa and avocado. Normally I'll use red enchilada sauce. Today I'm not using red enchilada sauce. I'm using, I grabbed that for you. I'm using this stuff, and I'm going to try it. I never use this stuff. Today's the first time, but I went through all the ingredients, and it's pretty much exactly the same as red enchilada sauce. But red enchilada sauce comes in a can. If you don't use it, you have to store it somehow. This comes in a bottle, so it's easy. And look at that. Not so bad in the old not too bad for you category. So I got that. I got some jalapenos, right? I got some refried beans, okay? And these are kind of important. It's going to add texturing and things like that. We got some little green chilies. So green chilies are really important. I'm going to use some queso and sour cream. So that's pretty much everything I have. First things first, all I'm going to do is take my taco seasoning and pour a bunch of it onto my fish, just to give the fish that Mexican flavor pretty much. And I'm going to cook this on a low temp. Because you don't want to overcook the fish and it becomes like rubber, right? So cooking at a low temp, I'll keep mixing it up. And remember, it's still going to cook a little bit in the burrito, just a little bit, and then a little bit more when I show you how I do it finalized. But that's that. Now for my rice, I'm going to take a little bit of this just as a lubricant so the rice doesn't stick to the bottom, because I'm going to make a mix. I'm not just finishing my rice off like that. People are going to think, why do you have your rice in a frying pan? I'll show you. So I'm going to put just a little bit of this inside with my rice, and that way it's going to give it a nice, a really nice flavor. What also is going is my refried beans. Now, depending on how much you plan on making is dependent on how much refried beans you need. So I'm just going to scoop, let's see, you know what? I might just throw the whole can in there. Why not? Let's just put a can of refritos inside there, and I don't have to get every bean out of the can because I don't need that much. So that's going to be it. That's going to be it. So I got refritos, and I have rice. Now I'm going to take some chilies, and I'm going to put a nice heaping helping, some of the little chili juice again, just to keep things from burning on the pan. And I'm putting a nice amount of chilies in there. And now I'm just going to mix this up before I turn on the heat. I want to get my rice intertwined with my my chilies and my sauce and my beans, because when I start cooking, that'll keep the rice from drying, right? You don't want your rice to get all dried out. So I'm just going to mix it all together. Do 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 do. I'm dreaming of a genie with a nice prize. So you got your rice and your beans all mixed up, and what that's going to do is I'm not cooking it so much as just warming it. I'm kind of just heating it, and the rice is going to finish cooking perfectly inside this bean mixture because it's wet, right? So the rice is going to actually finish steaming, and that's perfect. Now, my final step is going to actually what really cooks all of this, so I don't have to worry about overcooking. And again, I'm going to go on a low heat just to let that get going. And while I'm here, I might as well stir up some of my fish. And you don't have to use salmon and cod. You don't have to use fish. You can use any protein you want. But if you are planning on using fish, use wild caught. I mean, if you're going to eat something good. You know, no point in cheapening yourself out and getting low quality food. Make it right. Make it right. And now, here's the craziest thing about this fish. If you go to, I think it's the Dollar Tree, where they have the freezers in the back, it's either the Dollar Store, Dollar Tree, whatever it is, they have fish that you buy for $1. Some of the places went up to $1.25 because of Biden. But it goes up, so there you can get it for $1, basically. You're getting $1 for a fillet of wild caught. You can look at it all day long and say, oh, it's dollar store, but it's wild caught salmon, wild caught cod, and I think they might even have tilapia. But for $1, and I use this stuff all the time, it's really good fish. And being wild, there's nothing in it. It's just fish, wild caught fish. They can't lie and say it's wild caught without it being wild caught, so you know you're getting real stuff. And that's kind of important. That's an important factor, all right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the jar top off my queso, and I'm going to heat this a little bit. And you know what? I don't even need to because I'm putting it right in here. I totally forgot. So I'm just going to put my queso inside my beans and rice. Do. Gonna need some queso for next time. So now I'm just going to mix that in there while it's all warming up. And as soon as I mix it, all the steam starts coming out. It's looking good. So now all that queso flavor is going to be on the inside of my burrito, right? So it's going to be really, really tasty. And all of this together, it's just a big mush. You're going to look at it and you go, it's just mush, but it's good mush. So what I'm going to do is my sour cream. I'm going to throw a little bit of that's not what I was thinking. Cheese. I'm throwing a little bit of regular cheese inside of my my mix, right? Because you want cheese on the inside of your burrito. And when I say a little bit, I mean, you know, I'm dbad, so a little bit is, oh, it smells good, is a little bit more than a little bit. So now I have cheese, queso, chilies, refritos, and rice all mixed together. For those people who don't like refritos, there's usually not much good about refritos if you're just going to be eating some beans. However, if you do this, I guarantee you're going to like the refritos. You don't get that refrito taste because now it's in there with some red enchilada sauce, some taco sauce. It's in there with the chilies. It's in there with the rice and the queso and Mexican cheese. So the flavoring that you think isn't going to be very good, that right there, I know it's kind of hard to tell, especially in the lighting. That right there is stupendous. Oh my gosh, already. So my fish is, luckily the fish comes frozen. And I say luckily, and you think there's nothing lucky about frozen fish, but here's why I say lucky. When you cook frozen fish, it's got ice in it, right? Come here, look, I'll show you. It's got ice in it. When the ice melts, you have water, right? So what's happening is that my fish is actually boiling and steaming. So the fish is going to cook really succulently because I'm not cooking a dry fish. So this is going to be just all boiled in. All those flavors from that Mexican taco seasoning there is just cooking straight into a wet fish. So it's going to be so nice. Now with the salmon comes skin, with skin on it. So what I did is I took my fish before putting it in the pot, put it in the microwave for 30 seconds just to soften up enough to where I can and fillet away the skin, and that's what I did. So I got the skin off of there, and then I just cubed the pieces. Now that's 4 pieces of fish. So right there, it's $4. That's it. $4 for all that fish for wild caught fish. That's pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna finish cooking that. I'm gonna stir that up, and then I'll show you next step. All right, so the fish is done. All I'm gonna do is strain it. So I'm taking all the water out. And it'll be good, nice, and you want to really make sure you get out all the water because you don't want to put water into your burrito, right? And just like that, I have really nice wild caught fish for cooking. This is done, that's done, and now all I have to do is put things together. First thing I'm going to do before I put it together is I'm going to go over to my toaster oven slash air fryer, and I'm going to turn it on, and I'll show you why. All right, first let me get the stuff out of it. So I'm turning it on at 400 degrees, and I'm putting it on bake in the toaster oven. And it's going to make a whole lot of sense eventually. So now I'm going to clean up this little area here and break out a plate for the wrapping of the burritos. Oh, this is gonna be nice, y'all. This is gonna be nice. Find the package that's already open right here. So I got my burrito shells. Now what I need to do is warm them up, and the only reason you warm them up is so they don't crack and get all malleable. Now you don't want to cook them or overheat them or make them stiff. It's literally just warming them up. So what I need to do is take a different pan. I could remove the fish and use that, but I got extra pans, so why not just use one? All right, so take this pan, take this heat, and I'm going to put it on a fairly low heat, maybe a medium heat, because literally it's just warming. So once it's warm to the touch, that's what you want. So I'm just going to put it down there, and I'm going to put my hand on it right even on the heat, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. But that's it. I'm going to flip it. And once it's warm, just warm, then it's going to be good to move around. All right, so that's nice and movable. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my fork and I'm going to take my mix of beans and rice and all that, and I'm just going to place it across the burrito, but not to each edge. And I'll show you. So just like that, right? So a little bit above, below center and not to the edge of each. So now I'll grab another fork and I'm going to throw some fish in there. And the fish is going to go into the same place, right? Just putting it, and you could put as much or as little fish or protein, whatever you're using for your protein as you want, depending on how big and fat you want your burritos. But remember, the burrito has to be rolled. So now we're going to roll the burrito. Let me show you how that's done. Let me, I got to bring you up a little bit. All right, so here's the burrito. So now what we're going to do is we're going to the side with the lowest amount of stuff on it. We're going to roll it until it's past it, and then we're going to pinch it in. Then we're going to pinch each side and fold it over. Now this is where you just use your fingers and you manipulate it until you have this beautiful burrito, right? So since I'm making more than one, I'm going to grab my little pan, my little pan. I'm going to take it off of here now and just move it into my pan, and then I can heat up my next ones and roll some more. Hold on. All right, so at this point, I have 4 burritos. Easier, get them in there. Nice and well wrapped. this is where the magic happens, and this is what separates my burritos from stuff you get in a restaurant that you eat and you go, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. Thanks for good food. We're going to take either red enchilada sauce or taco sauce, whatever you're going to do, and you are going to pour it over the top of each one until they are coated, right? You want it to have a nice, you want the ends left open, but you want to coat your burritos so they look like that. Now what we're going to do is find our cheese that we have missing. I gotta say, that bean mix with the rice, oh my gosh, phenomenal. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take and we are going to cheese up the top. So you can get the cheese on the open part here, it doesn't really matter. Just you want the open part exposed from sauce. And oh my goodness. That is nice. So what we could do now is take a few chilies, so I have some left, take a few of the chilies and just kind of get the water out and then just sprinkle them across the top before we put it in the oven and let some of the chilies cook into the cheese. All right, we're going to get that nice flavor in there. So that's it. Everything over there is already warmed. Oh, look at that, boys and girls. So now what we're going to do is we're coming over here. We're just going to shove it right in there. And we are going to cook it. So now this is where everything finishes cooking, right? It's going to cook beautiful. This, oh, that was so good. That's going to cook. How do you know it's done cooking? Because the cheese will tell you. Once it's done, all the cheese will be completely melted. You might even get it bubbling in a couple spots, browning on the edges, however you like to cook your cheese. But once that's done, we're going to show you. Okay, so that's almost done. It's just bacon. That's all it's going to take. A little sidebar. If you make this for your spouse, there's a good chance, just one time, make it for your spouse, and they will stop pleasuring themselves to Scab. So, speaking of Scab, Choir Boys with a Z Cutlery Outdoors. Choir Boys Cutlery Outdoors. Scab just did a dbad Krogal video, and he informed me today that he is going to be doing a monster video with not one, not two, but three different dbad blades. And it's going to be just nasty. So pay attention to Scab's channel. Get over and sub to him. Steel Forge and Fire, Sword and Knife, Joe Love. You gotta sub to him. And Pistol Pete's been putting out some stuff, man. So check out Pistol Pete. He's even doing that. I know a lot of people like it's like novelty knives. It's called the Giant Killer. It's just this oversized Bowie, poorly designed. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. But he loves it. And there's a lot of people out there that want to know if it can take a little bit of a beating. And it can. It can take a little bit of a beating. So get over to Pistol Pete and check that out if you are interested in that novelty knife, because there's a lot of people that really come to these knife channels to check that kind of stuff out. Let me take you over here and we'll see how this is doing. Oh, it's doing. Let's see. We'll open it up so you can see. All right, so you can see it's starting to cook out pretty well there. It'll be done in just a few minutes. Oh, yum. So here's the burritos. I already started plating. I'm going to just put the other two on the plate. Try not to mangle them as I bring them out. And I will show you what's going on with this. So what I got to do is just loosen them up now. And then try and get them so I don't beat the crap out of them. That wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad at all. Now, this is a lot of burrito right here, so this is probably going to be 2 sittings for me. But it's only because I made more than I thought I was going to. So, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of all that. Now I'm going to bring my burritos onto the plate. Normally, I'm big into plating, but I bent these coming out. But now I'm going to show you how I take care of them to make them beautiful. I almost forgot tortilla strips. If you like that kind of thing, but I'll show you why and what I use them for. All right, so now if you have, you know, some guacamole and you have some salsa, you can use it. Obviously, I got the avocado salsa mix, so it's guacamole and salsa mix, so I don't need to do two different ones. So what I'm going to do is open it without spilling it. Voila. Wipe that down. And now I'm just going to drizzle some of my guacamole slash salsa across. Just drizzle. You don't want to pour it on there because then the flavor will be overpowering. And voila, just like that, looks good. I'm going to use my sour cream, and again, I want to bring it across but not coat it. Just like that. And now take a couple jalapenos, shake out the water, and just add a little extra kick and a little decoration, kind of, you know what I mean? Food always tastes better when it looks better. That's what I think. So a couple of those on there, and that looks good. Final touch, I'm going to take some of these guys and just sprinkle them on there. It's going to add a little look and be a little crunch. All right, so now I'll show you. It's going to look pretty, man. It's going to look pretty. Now, you can go to any restaurant in the world that serves burritos and buy yourself a burrito, but they're not going to be like this. They're not going to taste like this. They're not going to look like this. These are some dbad burritos, and I'm going to show you what's what. I'm going to show you what's what. Just get this, and put this, and put this, and put this. Give you guys time to ponder upon that real quick. Put that away. Put this away. You guys can just stare upon the goodness that is about to be burrito heaven. And bam. Now this, my friends, is what burritos are supposed to look like. That is beautiful. So now this is what I do. I take my fork and I knock you guys over. And what I'll do is I'll just spread some of the goodness around and I'll even it out throughout. So it looks pretty to start, and then I mush it all up. But the mushing it all up just adds into the flavor. Now normally I'll just eat from the edges on, but I got to show you what's going on in one of these. So I'm just going to open one up. And show you the ooey gooey goodness inside. It's just a melting pot of flavor. You know, you push it all together, and then when you take your first bite, it's just a mix of everything. Oh my God. Guys, that's dollar store fish. Oh my gosh. So, I'm telling you, if you want the best burritos you'll ever have in your life, you don't need to go all the way to Mexico, unless you already live there, and you're pretty good. You just go right to your own kitchen. Oh my God. You make some fan-frickin-tastic burritos. Guys, I'm not bullshitting you. Oh my God, that's amazing. That's amazing. Look at that big chunk of fish right there. That is so super good. I'm telling you, man, if you go to Taco Bell today, after watching this, I'm going to punch you square in the face. I'm going to follow you, find you, track you down. I'm going to grab you by the collar, and I'm going to punch you right in the face. This is easy to do. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long at all. The longest part, literally, was melting the cheese. That's the longest part. Everything else goes pretty quick. This is freaking, man, this is freaking amazing. Pushing pushing the rice and the beans together with queso and cheese. Especially with adding some taco sauce, enchilada sauce, however you're going to play it. Oh my gosh, and those little green chilies in there. Holy mackerel. This is absolutely, I wish I could transfer the flavors from the plate over to film and like let you taste it. This is phenomenal. It's amazing. So that's it. I am going to sit down and literally enjoy the hell out of my amazing burrito plate. Oh my God, that is so good. And remember, if you don't eat fish, you can use any protein you want. You use turkey, that ground turkey meat, and use it as a burger. I've done that before. It's just amazing. You can chop up meatballs, and you can use that depending on what you... Oh, God, that's good. All right, that's it. Golly, that's amazing. I am Donnie B all day. Till next video.